This is The Edge. Hosted by award-winning golf broadcaster Scott Walker. With Andy Walker, a four-time national champion and the head golf coach at DCU. And now, Scott Walker.
Welcome to Masters Week here on The Edge. I am Scott. That is my brother from another, Andy. Andy, how are you?
Good. Merry Masters Week, my brother. How's everything going?
Everything is going great. And part of the reason we like this week is I think we love this week because it's really the start of spring. I know here in the Bay Area, we're getting a little bit better weather. Richmond probably is getting some better stuff. But the other part is that we all, as fans, we know this golf course. So, Andy, you've gotten to play this, right?
I have not gotten to play Augusta
Cool.
National. I messed up. I had an invite. During the same week, I got an exemption to play a European Tour event, and obviously I had to take the European Tour event, thinking that one day I would get my Masters invite. And for some reason, Ridley and the boys just never quite sent it to me. So I have not played Augusta National.
Okay. All right. So I won't talk about the fact that I've played it, except for that one time, right? But I think that even if whether you've seen it, whether you played it, everyone knows this golf course so well. So for you, Andy, what is the core skill that a player needs to win this week?
Obviously, you got to be able to drive it, well, to get yourself in position. I think that's every week on tour. But more importantly is where do you want to hit your first putt from? And so being able to place the ball on the green in the proper spots, I think, comes with a couple of things. One comes with the skill of being a good iron player, but two comes with the experience and knowledge of where you want to play from. So it's not really about just hitting good shots. It's about hitting the right shots to the proper places on these greens.
Do you still think that it's a second shot golf course? I think as we were growing up, that's what everyone talked about. You could drive it a lot of places, maybe not everywhere, but you could drive it in some places and get yourself out with a second shot. Do you still think that's true, or do you think it's changed over the last few years?
Well, they've added some length to the golf course, so now you have to be definitely a better driver of the ball and get it in play. But I still think that most of the guys are going to be able to drive it well enough to win. I think it's definitely going to be a second shot golf course. And then, once you get the second shot on the green and in the right place, now the fun begins, right? You've got to be able to roll your pill, at Augusta National to win.
So one of the players that I think a lot of people, I don't want to call him a dark horse. He may be a dark horse because he's playing on LIV right now, and that's Joaquin Niemann. But he made a point of playing around the world outside of LIV, in Australia, throughout the world, just to make sure that he would give himself the chance to qualify. He got a special invitation to play in Augusta, and he's playing this week. He's had a really good lead up to the year. What is it about Joaquin that really strikes you and gives him a chance to win the green jacket for the first time?
Well, kind of as a preview to what we're going to talk about with Joaquin is Joaquin can work it both ways off the tee, and he's very comfortable turning a ball over, where some of the key holes that you can make birdies and possible eagle chances are you've got to turn it over. You got to be able to turn one over if you can get it going hard on 2. Obviously on 13, if you can turn it around the corner, you're going to have a mid to short iron in for as long as these guys are hitting the ball. And so coming down the stretch, if you can turn over a couple of those drives on those par 5s, even starting out, you can give yourself a lot of chances. And to think that the par 5s, they're going to be playing 16 of them this week. If he's driving the ball well and pulling off the tee shots that he can pull off, then he gives himself a really good chance. What I really like about Joaquin is he's become a really consistent putter, and his speed is really good on the greens, but he really has no glaring weaknesses right now. And so, I think he's going to be someone that definitely we need to watch.
I think one of the things that I tend to look for is someone who can make a lot of birdies. I mean, obviously we made a legend out of Anthony Kim, and he was the one that set the birdie record at Augusta a few years back when he was playing competitively. What I love about Joaquin Niemann is the fact that he shot a 59 earlier this year at Mayakoba, a golf course that we know, shows that he can make a lot of birdies when he gets on a run, and that's one of the things that I think I'm looking for with Joaquin. What's interesting for us is that we had a chance to talk to him back in May of last year and get an insight onto how he approaches the game. Andy had that conversation. And Andy, what struck you about the setup of how he was able to describe how he is as a player?
Well, he lit up when we started talking about Riviera, and he started out with those really huge 63s. River's not an easy golf course, right? And so for him to go out and do that the first couple rounds there really shows about what you talked about, making a lot of birdies. I had a chance to spend quite a bit of time with Joaquin when he first got out on tour when he was 18 years old down in South Florida. And when he won the Greenbrier, I think he started out with like 61, 63 or 61, 64. Those are the two worst rounds he had shot in the last 5 days before he went there. I saw I played with him out at Medalist and Dye Preserve, where he had just shot like 60 and 62 on super hard golf courses. So, when we spoke with him, we're really trying to get an insight on, is he working on the same things as he was then? And what were him and Edo Miguel working on to get prepared for that week? And so, he talked about trying to, hit fades back with his irons a little bit, and he feels real comfortable when he's turning the ball over off the tee. And that's going to be conducive to hitting soft shots into these greens at Augusta, which are going to be able to hold, and turning the ball over so he can get it down there on the par fives like we spoke about earlier.
Okay, let's hear directly then from Joaquin Niemann speaking earlier with Andy.
Tell us about some of the things. I saw you and Edo working with a device on your wrist, and we talked a little bit about it. What are you working on right now and why?
Yeah, I'm kind of going a little bit back to my tendency. I mean, the last probably couple months, I've been kind of favoring a little bit more the fade lately, and kind of favoring that, I kind of started doing something different on my downswing. Mm-hmm. So just trying to adjust that a little bit, trying to get back to where my tendency used to be, trying to be a little more shallow, the club face a little bit more close, so that way I can rotate better through the ball. So yeah, just the little things that we normally do every time.
Right, so are you still mainly a fader of the ball?
Yeah, I mean lately, yeah, for sure. I like to draw the ball off the tee a lot with the driver. Obviously, for me, it's easy to fade it and hit a draw of the tee, kind of easy too. And yeah, normally with the irons, it's kind of like a little bit of both, but lately it's been more carrying the ball.
More carry. All right, so let's go back to 2022. You start out Riviera, not an easy golf course. You shoot a pair of 63s.
Yeah.
What were the swing thoughts? What were the tendencies? What were you working on during that time?
Yeah, I remember that swing there. It was coming. Probably a few weeks before that, it was feeling really good.
Right.
And I mean, it was so many little things with my swing thought was. It was super simple. So I was not thinking about much stuff, just trying to go out there and play. So it came out pretty easy.
Right. And so were the things that you were, when you first got out on tour and you were, 18 years old?
Yeah.
And now you're 24?
24.
24 years old. Has it been the same progression of tendencies that you're working on? Has the swing progressed, or do you see some more work coming in the future?
Yeah, I think it's always going to be adjusting every week. I think it changed a little bit since I got here, because I was trying to launch the ball a little bit higher.
Right.
I think since there it has changed a little bit for good though. And yeah, I mean, like everything now, it probably went to that other side, and I had to go back to my other tendency. So
right.
You gotta be just playing all the time with that.
Perfect. So what's the strength of your game right now? Is before you leave this tee box, what do you feel the best about?
I feel pretty confident about my iron game.
Your iron game? Awesome.
All right, so Andy, when you hear that, what struck you about that conversation?
The main thing, like we spoke about earlier, he talked about he's comfortable turning the ball over, but he said was something really key was he likes turning the ball over with his driver. A lot of guys who cut the ball will hit 3-wood to get the ball around the corner on some of the holes because it's easier to draw 3-wood. He feels good turning over the driver which he's going to get an extra 20, 30, 40 yards off of that driver when it's turning down those hills, which again,
Number
like we
two
spoke about.
specifically, right?
That's right. Get that thing going around the corner there, or on 13, getting it going around the corner and firing down there. Now he can have, 7, 8, 9 irons, 6 irons into some of these greens and can really put himself in a go position.
There was something that I heard Xander Schauffele talk about yesterday in his press conference, and that was the idea that you have to flight wedges a little bit differently at Augusta than you do in other places. He talked about needing to have a high, soft wedge into certain holes like 15 and the like, and that most players, they know their stock yardages, but can't always change the trajectory of their wedge game on command as much as they can land it in this particular spot. What do you think about that notion, and how does that play into some of the things that Joaquin was talking about?
Well, one of the things he talked about was when he first came over here, he had to feel like he needed to hit the ball a little bit higher. Yeah. And so when you look at Joaquin's swing, one noticeable thing is kind of that side bend he has that impact, right? And everyone says that he's going to break his back. I don't trust that, right? My thing is, Joaquin, swing the way you swing, your body knows how to recover. A lot of people start changing and moving for injury prevention, which gets them injured. But, going back to him hitting his wedges a little bit higher, that just tells me he's going to be versatile. He worked on getting the ball up. He naturally can hit the ball a little bit flatter. So just like you said, when he needs to skip one to a back pin on some holes, he can keep it down. On 15, if he needs to flight one up there and keep it a little bit softer, right, he can get it to these shelves and keep it on top as well. So I know he's been working a lot on his wedge play, getting ready for this week. And, I'm expecting to see a lot of good stuff from him.
Okay. We can't have a Masters preview without talking about Tiger Woods. You mentioned injury prevention, so Tiger came to mind immediately. He talked about the idea that he still thinks that it's possible for him to win a Masters. I won't say that it's not possible for him to win. Is it possible for him to win this week?
Anytime he sticks it in the ground. If he can play for 4 days,
yeah,
right? I think
that's the question, though.
Well, that he only knows that, right? I mean, it seems like every week he goes out and he feels really good on Tuesday, Wednesday, and then Thursday it starts to kind of wear on him a little bit, and then Friday he doesn't, quite finish a lot of the Friday rounds. So my thing is, I'll never doubt Tiger. I mean, I think one time everybody did. He came back with a vengeance and won again, and then won a Masters. So him knowing how to move around this golf course, he doesn't have to be at his 100% physically best to win this golf course if he has 100% mind and going into it. So can he win? Of course he can. I mean, he's Tiger.
Yeah. And he has a chance to set the consecutive cuts made record at Augusta if he makes his 24th cut this week. One thing to note is his ball speed on the range. Watching Masters on the Range, by the way, I don't recommend many shows, but Masters on the Range is great. My friend Kelly Tillman on there with Michael Breed and Brian Kroll. If you can watch that, you can watch it. But the thing about Tiger was his ball speed consistently off the driver was in the 170s, which is, ball speed that probably rivals. It's not too far off from where he was. It certainly is about where all the big name players are as well. How amazing is it that he can still move it like that, Andy?
Well, what you got to think is those ball speeds are on the range.
Okay.
Right. So, can he play swinging like that? Maybe. I mean, this is a day of, I'm seeing incredible things, even from our team. Every day, the guys are sending me, Coach, I was swinging at 125, 126 today, and I got the ball speed in the 180.
Clubhead speed. Ooh.
Yeah, and so they're swinging it fast, but they didn't send me the first 3 swings that maybe went dead sideways, right? They send the really good pictures. So,
right.
As far as ball speed and clubhead speed goes, let's see what he plays at, right? What's he cruising at when he's out there and he's got to get a ball in play, or he's feeling aggressive and he wants to turn one over, hit one a little bit harder? What's his play speed's going to be at is what's going to be important to me.
Okay, very good. We'll talk much more about the Masters. We're going to have our picks. We're going to play a game called Masters Poker. And trust me, you're going to want my hand above Andy's. All that's coming up next. This is The Edge.
Get the full Edge experience on the web. Visit us and claim your free membership at theedge.show.
All right, we are back here on The Edge, and we're going to play a game I'd like to call Masters Poker. I have the 10 players that I think can win the Masters this week. Andy Walker has the 10 that he thinks he can win the Masters. We'll coordinate that 10, get it down to that 10, and then we'll draft each a 5-man hand. And whoever has the best hand, whoever has the best results, is the winner and gets to be the one true Walker. All right, Andy, so here are my 10. Ludwig Oberg, Wyndham Clark, Russell Henley, Brooks Koepka, Hideki Matsuyama, Rory McIlroy, Joaquin Niemann, Jon Rahm, Xander Schauffele, and Scotty Scheffler. I thought about Sergio. I thought a little bit potentially about Harris English. I thought about Patrick Cantlay, but these are the 10 that I'm rolling with. What does your 10 look like?
All right. Well, we'll get the Scotty out of the way. I think that's the obvious pick, right?
Yeah.
He's the best player in the world. He can out ball strike what maybe he doesn't have to putt well at Augusta, so that's pretty easy.
Yeah.
I got Matt Fitzpatrick in there. I got Max Homa in there. I got Brooks Koepka. He always seems to show up in these big moments, and I think he feels like he's due for this one.
Yep.
Joaquin Niemann, like we spoke about, I think he just got an all-around game ready to do it. Got Bryson DeChambeau in there.
Okay, consider Bryson.
He's got 4 top 10s in a row coming in, and so he's playing some good, solid golf. I've got 2 more before I give my dark horse, and I'll tell you why he's a dark horse. But I got Nick Taylor in there.
Okay.
A real kind of tactician in how he practices, how he prepares, and how he plays tournaments. And I think with him getting a couple of wins under his belt now he's looking at winning a major. One that not a lot of people have been speaking about and didn't have his best week last week, but I did see a couple of golf shots and a couple of pitch shots he hits that gives me a reason to put him in here. And he's had success here is Jordan Spieth.
Yeah.
I think Jordan's going to play well. Now, my dark horse, not just because he's a Pepperdine Wave, right?
Yeah.
But he drives it well. He's 14th in strokes gained driving. He's 13th in strokes gained putting. He hits over 70% of his greens. So the dude drives it good, he putts it good, and he hits a lot of greens, right?
Yeah.
Is Sahith Theegala.
Okay.
So, Sahith is going to I think he's going to enjoy the experience if he gets in contention like he seems to have done. And, he's going to guy that's going to play without the pressure of having to win. And I think that's why I probably don't have the Rory and some of the other players on here is just, I think, Rory tries too hard to win this tournament and almost wants it too much to where it becomes a detriment sometimes.
All right, so our lists are a lot different than I thought they would be, actually. So here's what we're going to do. You're going to take 3 players off of my list that aren't the same, and you're going to eliminate them for me. I'm going to do the same off of your list. So the ones on my list that aren't on yours, Oberg, Clark, Henley, Rory, Rahm, Xander. Who are the 3 that you're pulling off of that list?
Now, are these guys that I think that I don't want you to have because they could win, or guys that I think can't win?
No, these are guys that you think can't win.
All right. Ludwig's not going to win this week.
That's fair. That's fair.
Not that he can't, he just won't.
Yeah,
so.
Right. A first timer, that's how much I thought about his game that I even put him on there. Yeah.
Perfect. Fair enough. Russell Henley, he's not going to win.
Henley's in the top 10 in data golf. He is a really good iron player.
Congratulations, Russell. He's not winning this week.
All right.
Let's see. You know what? Jon Rahm hadn't been playing that good of golf lately. So I'm going. I just don't think he's ready to win this week.
I think there are a lot of arguments that might suggest that. Okay, I like that. All right, so that means from my list, We're keeping Xander. You're keeping Rory,
I
which
mean,
didn't
Rory,
sound like what you wanted to do.
he's still Rory though, right?
Yeah, yeah. And you're keeping Wyndham Clark, which is interesting because I think, look, he can putt. I think the only concern I have about Wyndham Clark is his health.
Okay,
Okay.
fair enough.
All right. You're not convinced. All right. That's fine. He's still on the list, though. All right.
He's still on the list.
So from your list, I thought about Bryson. So Bryson's staying on. Boy, Nick Taylor is really interesting. I think he's staying on. Sahith is interesting because I considered him too. And I think he's staying on. So from your list, I'm actually pulling Matt Fitzpatrick.
Yep.
I'm not convinced he's going to be consistently long enough and drive it well enough to get this done. I'm not sure that Max Homa's form is good enough right now. I respect the game. Not sure. So that leaves you with Jordan. And why would I pull Jordan out? And I think Valero spooked me.
I got that.
I think Valero, I would have leaned towards you, but some of the stuff that he was pulling off, that trying to hit it to the clubhouse in Valero, in a place that he's won, it just means he's still spraying that driver a little bit too much for me. I'm not convinced.
Didn't he keep it on the clubhouse though? He hit the clubhouse, man. That's not an easy golf shot to hit.
I've seen that course a lot, and trust me, from where he was in the trees, that far left, it is kind of an amazing shot. But the fact that you're aiming for that and not the fairway tells me something about your game.
It may be why I did. It may be why I picked him this week, right? Because he's just such a wild card.
Yeah,
he's just loose with his emotions. He's loose with the driver. It's like commentary in every shot could be enough to fuel him to like be crazy enough to win this week.
All right, so here is our list of 10 combined. It is Scotty Scheffler, Brooks Koepka, Hideki Matsuyama, Joaquin Niemann, along with Wyndham Clark, Rory McIlroy, Xander Schauffele, Bryson DeChambeau, Sahith Theegala, and Nick Taylor. The first pick for both of us, and I'm going to let you start, is the one that you think will win the Masters. That's your favorite pick. Andy, who do you have?
I'm going to the no-brainer. We're going Scotty.
Okay. I'm going Hideki. Matsuyama-san, I think, particularly with that rain that's coming, I think he's going to have the ability to just start firing. And I think when he gets hot, like we saw at Riviera, he is going to be a monster. Hideki-san is my second choice, or actually my first choice here in the Masters poker hand. All right. Who's your second choice?
I like you throwing in the Hideki-san on there, right?
Oh, Matsuyama-san. We played. He was when I was in Orlando. We were members of the same club, and watching him work. I mean, literally, he would just kind of walk by and just give me the nod. So, okay, Matsuyama-san. There it is. Respect.
Love it. Since we're going ethnic, I'm throwing Waco in there. We're bringing a little Latin flavor. We spoke about him a lot, so I got him, throw him high on the list.
High on my list is going to go Wyndham Clark. Is going second for me.
Wyndham, good pick. I mean, it's hard not to. The guy's been playing well, right?
Yeah, I like the way he putts too.
I'm going to go someone that's got something to prove here and finish off a major that wasn't on my list that's on yours.
Yeah.
Let's go with Xander. He can roll his pill. He does everything well. And I probably should have put him in my original 10, but he's on my squad now. Okay.
So you got Xander. I'm going to take Brooks because I just roll with Brooks whenever I can roll with Brooks. I have no reason. I just love the guy. Brooks Koepka.
Yeah, I was going to take Brooks on my next one. So you got
I thought you might.
You got one on me on that one. All right, let's go. Since there's no
you got
Brooks
Rory, Bryson,
here.
Sahith, and Nick Taylor.
Let's go Nick Taylor.
Okay. I think he's a dark horse. I think he just has a complete game that can find something. He can be the next Mike Weir. I think Canadians will have already said he's the next Mike Weir, right? All right. I'll take Rory.
Yeah, don't go on a limb too far and pick like the best driver in the world or anything.
I mean, has he won here yet?
No, he hasn't. It's been bad. That's why he wasn't on my list, to begin with.
Yeah.
So I'm rolling with the Pepperdine Wave. I got to keep it true and keep it real with the Waves, even though they're the second college team that I pull for these days. They're the only one that we have right now in the Masters.
All right, so that leaves Andy with Scotty Scheffler, Joaquin Niemann, Xander Schauffele, Sahith Theegala, Nick Taylor. My hand is Hideki Matsuyama, Brooks Koepka, Wyndham Clark, Rory McIlroy, Bryson DeChambeau. Oh, I get all the long hitters. My hand is better. Trust me, when we see this, you'll be able to have the conversation, engage with us on social media, Instagram, the like, and let us know whose hand is better. We're going to have the bars exam. We're going to wrap up after that. That's all coming up next here on The Edge.
For more of Andy's instruction and insights on the game, sign up for free on the website at theedge.show.
All right, that sound means that it is the time of the week that Andy dreads. It is the bars exam. And this week, it is Masters themed, sort of. All right, Andy, here's what we got. We have a Dirty South artist. He is the leader of a crew, but a solo act, 1990s vintage. And my caddy read for you is, remember what week this is. Andy, do you think you're ready for this week's bars exam?
That was a pretty whack caddy read. I think you're much better as a media personality than a caddy. So I'll make sure I don't ever ask you to loop for me. But let's roll with it.
That was the best caddy read you'll ever get, and you need to listen to your caddy. Here are the bars. Here we go. The clock hits 12. I'm on the grind. Punch in your code if you want these nickels, quarters, and dimes. I got the ghetto sewed up like McDonald's and Wendy's, and I got more sales than J.C. Penney's. Andy, who is this artist?
I'm making bogey. So this is where I'm going with this one. Where I'm going with this one. Remember, so on tour, since we're using a caddy reference,
yeah,
I played well, we played poorly. How about that?
All right, that's fine. The artist is Master P.
Oh, man.
It's Masters Week, man.
I know.
It's Master P. Throw 'em Up, 1997, off the Ghetto D album.
Dang, that was Masters my album.
Week. I was trying to give it to you.
I know you did. And that was my album, too. I used to rock that Ghetto D album. That was, yeah. That was, all right. Bogey.
All right. It's a bogey. That's fine. You can make up bogeys here on Masters Week. It's good. We're looking forward to the Masters. I'm glad you guys were able to join us. Andy, you have your picks. We're going to talk about those next week. Good luck in your tournament this weekend, and good luck to everyone on their Masters picks, and enjoy the tournament. Andy, say goodbye to the folks.
Peace out.
It's Master P.
Oh, man. Master. You said Masters. I was sitting there going, Who's Master? The first thing that came to mind was like Master Ace, but he's from New York, so it can't be. Oh man, Master P.